Welcome, everyone, to Unfiltered Reflections, the podcast where we delve into the messy, complicated, and often unspoken truths of life. I'm your host, Passion, and today we're tackling a subject that I know resonates with so many of us: outgrowing family obligations. This is a topic that sits heavy in the hearts and minds of countless people, especially as we navigate the transition from adolescence to adulthood. It's a journey of self-discovery, a process of figuring out who we are, what we want, and how to define our own paths that might at times diverge from the ones our families envisioned for us. We often enter adulthood carrying a suitcase filled with expectations. Some are tangible: career choices, marriage, children. Others are less defined, more subtle: the unspoken pressure to uphold traditions, to prioritize family above all else, to fit into a predetermined mold. These expectations, while often born from love and a desire to see us thrive, can sometimes feel like heavy chains, restricting our movement and suffocating our true selves. Today, we're going to explore the complexities of this struggle. We'll talk about the pressure cooker of family expectations, the challenges of setting boundaries, and the difficult, sometimes heartbreaking, choices we have to make when our personal values clash with familial obligations. We'll also touch on the more extreme end of the spectrum, the decision to distance ourselves or even ghost family members, a choice that carries immense weight and deserves careful consideration. This isn't about demonizing families. It's about acknowledging the very real challenges we face as individuals striving for autonomy and authenticity. It's about understanding that our journeys are unique and that sometimes the path to our own happiness requires us to redefine our relationships with those closest to us. So let's dive in. Let's start with a fundamental question. What does it mean to outgrow family obligations? It's not necessarily about disliking or abandoning your family. Not at all. It's about recognizing that your needs, your values, and your goals are evolving, and that these changes might not always align with the expectations or desires of your family. Think about it. As children, we're often told what to do, what to think, and what to believe. Our world is largely defined by our parents and immediate family. We learn about the world through their lens. But as we mature, we start to develop our own perspectives, our own passions, our own dreams. We consume information from a wider range of sources, interact with diverse people, and experience the world firsthand. This process of individuation can create a natural tension. What felt like a comfortable fit in childhood can become constricting in adulthood. The family traditions that once felt comforting might now feel stifling. The career path your parents envisioned for you might feel like a gilded cage. The pressure to conform to societal expectations, often amplified within the family unit, can become overwhelming. Let's talk about some common examples. One of the most prevalent is the expectation to pursue a specific career, often one that aligns with the family's values or provides financial security. Perhaps your parents are doctors, and they've always envisioned you following in their footsteps. You might genuinely respect their profession, but your heart lies in the arts, or in entrepreneurship, or in something completely different. This can create a significant internal conflict. You might feel guilty for disappointing your parents, for not fulfilling their dreams. You might worry about losing their approval, or even their support. You might feel pressured to suppress your own passions and pursue a path that feels inauthentic, simply to appease your family. Another common area of conflict is around relationships. Family members often have strong opinions about who we should date, marry, or even simply befriend. They might disapprove of our partner or pressure us to marry within a certain social or religious group. They might express concern about our choices or even actively try to interfere in our relationships. This can be incredibly challenging, especially when we're trying to establish our independence and build our own lives. The pressure to conform to their expectations can feel suffocating, and it can be difficult to navigate these dynamics while maintaining a healthy relationship with our families. Then there's the issue of financial obligations. Many young adults feel pressured to contribute financially to their families, whether it's helping with bills, supporting younger siblings, or even subsidizing their parents' lifestyle. While this can be a noble and loving gesture, It can also feel like a significant burden, especially when it prevents us from pursuing our own financial goals, like saving for a home, investing in our education, or simply enjoying our lives. These are just a few examples, but the underlying theme is the same: a clash between our own desires and the expectations placed upon us by our families. This conflict can manifest in a variety of ways, from subtle feelings of unease to full-blown arguments and estrangement. So, how do we navigate this complex landscape? How do we begin to untangle ourselves from the web of family obligations and start building a life that feels truly authentic? The first and often most difficult step is self-awareness. We need to take a deep, honest look at our own values, desires, and goals. What truly matters to us? What kind of life do we want to live? What are we passionate about? This requires introspection, reflection, and a willingness to challenge our own assumptions. It's not always easy to identify what we truly want, especially when we've spent years internalizing the expectations of others. It's a process of peeling back the layers, of separating our own voice from the voices of our family members. Once we have a clearer understanding of our own needs and desires, the next step is to communicate them, often through the art of setting boundaries. Boundaries are essentially the rules we establish to protect our own well-being and define the limits of our interactions with others. Setting boundaries with family members can be incredibly challenging. It often requires us to confront uncomfortable truths and challenge long-held patterns of behavior. It might involve saying no to requests that don't align with our values, or setting limits on how much time we spend with family members. It might involve expressing our feelings honestly and respectfully, even if it means disagreeing with our parents or other family members. For example, let's say your parents constantly criticize your career choices. You might set a boundary by saying something like, "I understand you have concerns about my career, but I'm happy with my choices, and I would appreciate it if you would respect my decisions. I'm not going to discuss my career with you anymore." This might seem harsh, but it's a necessary step in protecting your own emotional well-being. It's about asserting your autonomy and making it clear that you are in control of your own life. Setting boundaries can also involve limiting contact or even temporarily distancing ourselves from family members. This doesn't necessarily mean cutting them off completely, but it might mean reducing the frequency of phone calls, visits, or other forms of interaction. It's a way of creating space and allowing ourselves to breathe, to focus on our own needs and desires. Communication is key, of course. Whenever possible, try to have open and honest conversations with your family members about your needs and boundaries. Explain your perspective, express your feelings, and be clear about what you expect from them. It's important to remember that you can't control how others react. Some family members might be understanding and supportive. Others might be resistant, defensive, or even angry. Be prepared for a range of reactions, and be prepared to stand your ground. It's also important to be patient. Changing long-held patterns of behavior takes time. It might take multiple conversations, and it might require you to reinforce your boundaries repeatedly. Don't give up, but also don't expect overnight miracles. Now, let's address the elephant in the room: the decision to ghost your family or to cut off contact entirely. This is a drastic step, one that carries immense emotional weight and should not be taken lightly. For some, this is the only option, a necessary act of self-preservation. When faced with constant criticism, manipulation, or abuse, cutting off contact might be the only way to protect one's mental and emotional health. It's a way of escaping a toxic environment and reclaiming one's own life. This decision is often born out of a deep sense of pain and frustration. It's a recognition that the relationship with family members is irreparably damaged, that communication is impossible, and that staying connected would be detrimental to one's well-being. The reasons for choosing this path are varied and complex. It could be due to severe emotional or physical abuse, ongoing manipulation or control, or a fundamental clash of values that makes a healthy relationship impossible. It could be the result of a long history of disappointment, resentment, and unresolved conflict. There's no single right answer here. The decision to cut ties with family members is deeply personal, and it's one that should be made only after careful consideration of all the potential consequences. If you're considering this option, it's crucial to seek support. Talk to a therapist, counselor, or trusted friend. They can provide you with a safe space to process your feelings, explore your options, and make a decision that is right for you. Consider the potential consequences. Cutting off contact can lead to feelings of isolation, loneliness, and grief. It can also create complications with other family members, and it might affect your access to family history and information. Weigh the potential benefits against the potential costs. Will cutting off contact improve your mental and emotional health? Will it allow you to live a more authentic and fulfilling life? Are the potential benefits worth the potential costs? If you do decide to cut off contact, be prepared for a variety of reactions from your family members. They might be angry, hurt, confused, or even indifferent. They might try to reach out to you to persuade you to reconsider your decision. Be prepared to stand your ground and to protect your own boundaries. It's also important to remember that you are not responsible for your family members' reactions. You are responsible for your own well-being. No matter what path you choose, whether it's setting boundaries, limiting contact, or cutting off ties completely, it's important to remember that you are not alone. This is a journey that many people undertake, and there's a wealth of resources available to support you. Therapists and counselors can provide invaluable support in navigating the complexities of family relationships. They can help you identify your needs, set boundaries, and cope with the emotional challenges that arise. Support groups can provide a sense of community and validation. Talking to others who have experienced similar challenges can be incredibly helpful in reducing feelings of isolation and loneliness. Books, articles, and online resources can provide valuable information and guidance. There are countless resources available on topics like setting boundaries, dealing with difficult family members, and coping with the emotional challenges of estrangement. Remember to be kind to yourself. This is a difficult process, and it's okay to feel a range of emotions. Allow yourself to grieve the loss of the relationship you might have hoped for and to celebrate the progress you make. Ultimately, outgrowing family obligations is a journey of self-discovery and self-assertion. It's about recognizing that your own needs, desires, and goals are valid, and that you have the right to prioritize your own well-being. It's about learning to define your own path, even if it means diverging from the expectations of others. It's about creating a life that feels authentic and fulfilling, a life that reflects your true self. This journey can be challenging, but it's also incredibly rewarding. By taking ownership of your own life, you can create a sense of independence, self-respect, and inner peace that will serve you well in all areas of your life. Thank you for joining me today on Unfiltered Reflections. I hope this episode has provided you with some food for thought and perhaps a little bit of comfort. Remember, you are not alone. This is a journey that so many of us are on, and it's okay to prioritize your own well-being. If you found this episode helpful, please share it with your friends and family. And if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to reach out to me. Until next time, take care of yourselves and keep reflecting.